Hey everybody, Thomas here, and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday, the 8th of August, 2016, and it is time, as always, for the mailbag. Nice little stack here, 7 packages, but nothing too hefty, so we should be able to get through these fairly quickly. Remarkably enough, I don't think I have any announcements to start off with this week. What a week. Except to say, a couple of exciting new reviews ready, so be sure to keep an eye peeled for those and check those out by all means. But otherwise, yeah, without further ado, let's get into the book, shall we? And this one is a McMillan Package. And how very nice. This is 4 Roads Across. It's by Max Gladstone, and it is the 5th novel in the Craft sequence, which is a very well thought of urban fantasy series. Let's see if I can give you anything in the way of a plot synopsis that won't spoil the heck out of everything. Yeah, I really need to get caught up with this series. Anyway, let's see. This says, in the Craft sequence, enter a richly imagined and modern secondary world where skeleton lich kings are in charge of large corporations, necromantic lawyers run litigation, and souls are a currency. And then it goes on to say, the great city of Alt-Kulum is in crisis. The moon goddess Serral, long thought dead, is back, and the people of Alt-Kulum aren't happy. Protests rock the city, and Kos Everburning's creditors attempt a hostile takeover of the Fire God's church. Tara Abernathy, the god's in-house craftswoman, must defend the church against the world's fiercest necromantic firm, and against her old classmate, a rising star in the craftwork world. So as you see, it's a terrific concept for an urban fantasy. That's mixes magic and all of the elements of high fantasy with, looks like some really sharp commentary on American capitalism and how the big business world works and things like that. But anyway, this has apparently come out now. It is ready now, available, July 26th. This was released, and so 4 Roads Cross, now available from Tor. And moving on, we have something from Le Random Penguin Group. Well then, this is an arc for a new book. Looks like the first in a new series by William C. Dietz, who is known mainly for his military science fiction, although he's written a few other things. This comes out October the 4th. It's called Into the Guns, and apparently it begins a new series called America Rising. Dun, dun, dun. So, yeah, just a bit on the political side there. But let's see. Yes, the first novel in an all-new post-apocalyptic military science fiction series about America rising from the ashes. You see, America Rising follows the theme of America Rising. A global catastrophe. That is what we're rising from the ashes of. Into the Guns begins on May Day 2018 when 60 meteors, oh my golly, enter Earth's atmosphere and devastate the planet, leaving all in chaos. See, that's kind of overkill. Earthquakes and tsunamis follow as China mistakenly attacks Europe, Asia, and the United States. Did they think we sent the meteors? Anyway, Washington, D.C. has fallen, and the surviving elements of the armed forces are trying to restore order as American society begins to deteriorate. Across America, refugees band together and engage in open warfare with the military over scarce resources and the positions of power left in the wake of destruction. It's all very cheery and upbeat. Fast-paced and full of action, this new series is sure to appeal to fans of military SF as well as military thrillers, with its in-depth look, come on, Thomas, use your words, read. In-depth look at the procedure and psyche of the armed forces during times of crises. Huh, all right. Okay, well, if you like really very grim and apocalyptic military SF, then I think this one is probably for you. But this comes out from October 4th from Ace Books, Into the Guns by William C. Dietz. Moving onward. Oh, little Random Penguin Package. Very small one. And it's the mass market edition of Dreamseeker, which is the 2nd volume in C.S. Friedman's new fantasy series, the Dreamwalker Chronicles, apparently. When Jessica Drake learned that her DNA didn't match that of her parents, she had no idea that the search for her heritage would put her family's lives in danger or force her to cross into another world, in an alternate Earth dominated by individuals with unnatural mental powers called gifts. Jessica learned that there was a curse within her blood, one so feared that all who possessed it were destroyed on sight. For she was a dreamwalker, and the same dark gift that would allow her to enter the dreams of others would eventually destroy her mind and spread insanity to all those around her. So, okay, so now in paperback from Daw Books, Dreamseeker by C.S. Friedman. And this one looks like a Pyre title from Prometheus Books. Okay, well this one looks like Steampunk Ahoy, doesn't it? Or it could just be Gaslamp Fantasy, but I'm guessing steampunk. It's called The Apothecary's Curse. This comes out October the 11th. The author is Barbara Barnett. And it goes something like this. In Victorian London, the fates of physician Simon Bell and apothecary Galen Erseldune. I'm going to go with Erseldune. Anyway, the fates of these two characters entwine when Simon gives his wife an elixir created by Galen from an ancient manuscript. Meant to cure her cancer, it kills her. Yeah, that's a lawsuit right there. Suicidal, Simon swallows the remainder only to find he cannot die. Hearing rumors of a bedlam, yes. Anyway, hearing rumors of a bedlam inmate with regenerative powers like his own, Simon is shocked to discover it's Galen. The two men conceal their immortality, but the only hope of reversing their condition rests with Galen's missing manuscript. When modern-day pharmaceutical company Genomics unearths diaries describing the torture of Bedlam inmates, the company's scientists suspect a link between Galen and an unnamed inmate. Galen and Genomics geneticist Anne Shaw are powerfully drawn to each other, and her family connection to his manuscript leads to a stunning revelation. Will it bring ruin or redemption? Okay, so it sounds like it starts in Victorian England and then bops ahead to the present day, obviously because these guys are immortal, but all right. Well, a new writer, or at least a new writer to me, Barbara Barnett. And the book is The Apothecary's Curse, comes out the 11th of October. Just having one of those recording days when English is not coming to me well in the speaking of it. Yes. Come on, Thomas, it's your native language. Okay, this one is from Random Penguin. Could it be from Random Penguin? All right, this is one I got an email for. The author is April Lynn Pike. And this is a book called Glitter, which is the first in a new young adult duology, it says. It doesn't say what the second book will be called, but I'm sure she's already picked the title for it. Let's see what it's all about. It says, and it's SF too, not necessarily fantasy, in a near-future world where the residents of Versailles live like it is the 18th century, secrets are the deadliest drug. After Danica witnesses an act of murder by the king, her mother makes a manipulative power play, blackmailing him into making Dani his queen when she turns 18 in 6 months. Dani's ticket out? Glitter, a drug so powerful that a tiny pinch mixed into a pot of rouge can make the wearer hopelessly addicted. A drug she can sell for more money than she ever dreamed. A drug that will buy Dani passage out of her beautiful deadly prison with the help of a dealer who is as mysterious and alluring as the drug he fences. Will he turn out to be even more dangerous than the king? Okay, this comes out October 25th. I like the premise. You have this spoiled little rich girl who chooses to get out of an arranged marriage by becoming a drug dealer. Okay, I'm digging it. All right then, so Glitter by April Lynn Pike, who is apparently a well-established novelist of other YA titles. Comes out with an utterly addictive genre-bending story with a dark, captivating anti-heroine that will enthrall both teen and adult readers alike. So October 25th, Glitter. Okay, this says it's from Skyhorse Publishing, who handle imprints like Titan Books and Nightshade, so let's see what they sent me. Well, okay then, I have gotten a second copy of The Root. This is an urban fantasy by an author, Naaman Gobert Tillahun, and I'm sure I murdered the pronunciation of that name. I've already gotten this, so it's already been on the mailbag a couple of weeks ago, but time has passed, and I'm sure memories are short, so I'll just go ahead and read this again. It's a dark, gritty urban fantasy debut set in modern-day San Francisco, filled with gods, sinister government agencies, and worlds of dark magic hidden just below the surface. Eric, a former teen star living in San Francisco, thought his life was complicated. Having his ex-boyfriend in jail because of the scandal that destroyed his career seemed overwhelming. Then Eric learned he was blooded, descended from the gods. Struggling with a power he doesn't understand and can barely control, Eric discovers that a secret government agency is selling off blooded like lab rats to a rival branch of preternatural beings in Zabub, San Francisco's mirror city in an alternate dimension. Lil, a timid apprentice in Zibub, is searching for answers to her parents' sudden and mysterious deaths. Surrounded by those who wish her harm and view her as a lesser being, Lil delves into a forgotten history that those in power will go to dangerous lengths to keep buried. What neither Eric nor Lil realize is that a darkness is coming, something none have faced in living memory. It eats, it hunts, and it knows them. In The Root, the dark and surging urban fantasy debut from Namen Tilhun, two worlds must come together if even a remnant of one is to survive. And this came out from Nightshade back at the beginning of June, June 7th. So, and that's probably right around the time I had it on the Mailbag last. So here we are, The Root, and also, here's one I'm pretty pleased to see and reasonably excited about. The author is Chris Robertson, guy I know personally, like him a lot. He's a really great guy. And this is a book called Firewalk. Okay, and this one comes out on October the 4th. And it goes like this. True Detective meets Twin Peaks in this supernatural crime thriller set in a small town shrouded in mystery and steeped in voodoo. Izzy Lefebvre was the newest investigator for the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit when she first came to Recondito, a coastal city that's been shrouded in mystery and legend for centuries. Local law enforcement had requested the Bureau's assistance in hunting a sword-wielding serial killer who'd left a dozen mutilated bodies in his wake. Patrick Tavake was a local homicide detective assigned to the task force, and together he and Izzy managed to track down and stop the killer before he claimed another victim. 5 years later, Izzy and Patrick remain haunted by what the killer said before he fell in a hail of gunfire. Izzy's ancestors were Mambos, voodoo priestesses who claimed to communicate with the dead and protect the faithful from evil spirits. Patrick's Polynesian great-uncle told stories of Recondito's supernatural menaces that lurk in flame and shadow. The killer's last words have brought up a past both Izzy and Patrick long thought that they had left behind, and neither has been able to shake the feeling that their case was never completely solved. A contemporary supernatural crime thriller marrying the Cajun noir of True Detective and the darkly fantastic small-town setting of Twin Peaks, Firewalk is an unsettling, twisting delight. Neato, yes, this sounds very much up my street. Anyway, Chris Robertson, Firewalk, comes out from Nightshade Books on October the 4th. Let me know in the comments. And finally, it looks like we wrap up the week with a Tor title. And we wrap up with Mary Robinette Kowal's Ghost Talkers. I already have this one as an ARC, but it comes out in hardcover on the 16th. This says, from Hugo Award-winning author Mary Robinette Kowal comes a spectacular novel of historical intrigue and fantastical danger. Ginger Stuyvesant, an American heiress living in London during World War I, is engaged to Captain Benjamin Hartshorn, an intelligence officer. Ginger is a medium for the Spirit Corps, a special spiritualist force. Each soldier heading for the front is conditioned to report to the mediums of the Spirit Corps when they die, so the Corps can pass instant information about troop movements to military intelligence. Ginger and her fellow mediums contribute a great deal to the war efforts, so long as they pass the information through appropriate channels. While Ben is away at the front, Ginger discovers the presence of a traitor. Without the presence of her fiancé to validate her findings, the top brass thinks she's just imagining things. Even worse, it is clear that the Spirit Corps is now being directly targeted by the German war effort. Left to her own devices, Ginger has to find out how the Germans are targeting the Spirit Corps and stop them. This is a difficult and dangerous task for a woman of that era, but this time, both the spirit and the flesh are willing, as it says. So again, comes out the 16th. World War I sort of ghost story fantasy. From Mary Robinette. Been very much looking forward to this one, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm, fast-tracking this one on the review queue. But again, let me know in the comments. And that is a pretty nice week for the mailbag. Modest, but a good week, if I do say so. You guys know the drill. Hit those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize for review, as always. And again, if you enjoyed watching, please like, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and please subscribe if you have not done so. That is how SFF180 grows as a channel. You can also support the channel by going to its TeePublic store, where there are shirts and related merchandise. All right? So thank you again so much for watching, and until I see all you awesome folks next time, happy reading.